Hi everybody.
Hello, morning.
Hello. Surprise. How are we all?
Has everybody had coffee?
Thank you very much for coming, everybody. Obviously, we're here to make a very special announcement.
We're splitting up.
We are not splitting up. Yeah, we're going to be playing the Aviva Stadium next Friday. It's a really quick thing. Next year, Friday, the 8th of July. And we're very excited about it. It's part of our world tour. And it's great to be starting, hopefully, in Dublin.
Over there to the left, Nick. No, the left.
Woo!
That's
nice.
That way, Nicky. That way.
So yeah, good to be back.
Nicky, look that way.
Okay, guys, so listen, thanks very much. So what we're going to do is we'll go straight to the floor if anyone wants an opportunity to ask questions. I think Catherine Mason has some roaming mics that we'll take a couple of questions.
Okay. Hiya, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, Catherine.
It's a reintroduction after 2 years to everyone here. I think.
Yes.
Actually, as a matter of fact, the last press conference that I actually did was with the guys to announce
Cork.
Parky Queeve in Cork, which were 2 shows that sold out right away. So, we're really looking forward to this stage at the Aviva Stadium. Okay, we'll take the first question.
Hi,
Thank
guys. Trina Maher from Ireland's Classic Hits. I suppose, when you're announcing a big gig like this, it's been a long time since you've even had to face the media. And we're all feeling nervous back to work. Even today, I couldn't work my equipment. So how does it feel for you? Or is it just such, kind of second nature to you now that you don't mind doing these kind of things?
To be honest, Trina, it's we were just talking about this upstairs, and before we got here today, I mean, this is a momentous occasion, I think, for all of not necessarily the show, but this morning to be able to announce the show. From considering where we've all been and what we've all been up to for the past couple of years, it just feels so positive that we're moving forward and we're getting to a place, particularly for the Irish music scene, and that shows can come back. I mean, this is a big show. It's outdoors. Obviously, it's 40, 50,000. But even if it was smaller, the fact that we're getting back on stage, we're getting back into rehearsals, that normality is resuming. It makes us feel, for everybody, brilliant. For our families, for ourselves, it's everything rolled into one. We've all been, all of us. We've all done enough gardening and lockdown and 2K walks that we can do. So to be able to go back to a show. Live show like this is phenomenal, and even we were again talking about this. It will be over 3 years, over 1,000 days since we did Croke Park in 2019 on the reunion tour. So, and even at that show, it was families and it was hen nights and stag nights and kids and adults. It was a real family ticket. So, and someone recently said to me, "You're a heritage band." And that broke our hearts. But at the same time, what it does is it gives a huge demographic of people coming to the show. So we're just so delighted. We can't wait to get into rehearsals and stuff already.
Okay, thank you. We'll take a question from the back.
Hi, lads. Paul Quinn from Virgin Media News. As a fellow Sligo lad, just want to say well done.
All right.
Proud day for the parish. What's your message to fans? Because, you've been around a good while now. So, you'll have older fans, younger fans. What's that message to fans today, I suppose, to come out and support you and how grateful you are for that support?
I think, as Nicky just said there, this is bigger than, I suppose, all of us really. This moment, it is a Westlife moment, but it's also much bigger than that. We're all delighted that the hotels up and down the country for all these gigs, we're all delighted that the staff in those hotels, the restaurants, all the additional workers and people that the music industry getting back into action it's going to sort of reactivate their lives, their careers. As I say, it's much bigger than us. Everyone's back at work now. It's very exciting. We've kind of kept sort of frustratingly quiet throughout everything because we sort of didn't want to do anything until we knew that it was safe and right, and putting on the type of gigs that we're lucky enough to be able to put on is kind of, it's not easy to put them on. You can't just put them on overnight. It takes months and months or years of planning and stuff. So we've been frustrated to not be able to play throughout, as some acts have and everything. But we're just really excited now to finally be able to celebrate everyone being back together. And that's what this whole tour and our new album is about. It's kind of just one big sort of celebration and focusing on the positivity of what's happening. But as I say, this is, as we all know, we're all part of the entertainment industry, you know, whether it's the bands on the stage or the media or the people that literally sell the beers and the hot dogs or whatever at the gigs. Even the people that sell the fake merchandise. No, I'm joking. But you know, it's more than just us announcing a gig. This is a whole industry. It's the whole country coming back to life. And the entertainment industry it's a luxury in a way to go to a gig, but at the same time, it's part of our heart and soul as people in Ireland to go to gigs and concerts, whether it's listening to somebody playing a fiddle in a pub or going to Aviva to see Westlife or whatever. And I'm excited just as an Irish person to see this happen and to kind of think we're sitting here, this is real. And a few months ago, we didn't know if we would be here. And so it's just very exciting for everybody. It's not our moment, you know, it's everybody's moment. And I can't wait to see the faces on the people back at gigs, you know what I mean? And to see them enjoying themselves in a way that we all were kind of scared. We wondered, are we ever going to do it, or when will that happen, you know?
Thank you. And just to put it into context, like even the shows, the 2 sold-out shows in Cork, 70,000 people, they're worth actually 34 million to the local economy, just in terms of tourism, the boost. And to be honest with you...
And we only get 32 million of that, right?
That's what he's been saying all morning. And I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of you would know we've been campaigning for the return of the live sector, and it's brilliant to be able to stand here in front of you. And it's great that we have an Irish band announcing that they can actually, you know, help everyone back. So it's a great... you know, moment for not, as the band said themselves, but actually for each and every one, promoters, the whole industry right across the world. Because, I mean, these shows, you know, there's 1,000 people working on the Cork show. There's 1,000 people going to gain employment for the Aviva Stadium. And that is mammoth in our industry, having been closed for the last 2 years. Okay, so we'll take the next question. Actually, the average ticket sale was 4 tickets. So people actually go to a Westlife show, they actually purchase 4 tickets, which is above the norm. So it just shows you that actually it's families, it's groups, and people going to enjoy it, which is more than the average. So it just shows and spans their career as well, that people have grown up and loved and still continue, you know, to go to the shows. So we'll take the next question then.
Jade from VIP Magazine here. Congratulations
Hello,
with everything.
Thank you.
We often see bands and singing groups get to their success and then go their separate ways, and we don't hear from them all together again. What is the secret, do you think, of working together after all these years still perfectly and successfully?
I don't think it's all perfectly. You know, in any relationship you have your ups and downs, but what worked well for us, I think, was the break we had in 2012 for 7 years. We all went off into different things, and then the reunion, you know, we all decided to come back and give it one more shot. And I think when you do something like this since you were 19, you just, you know, you love it. We've enjoyed every part of it. We've had ups and downs. We've had records that have done really well. We've had, you know, some that haven't done so well. One of the big things was our family. You know, seeing our parents, you know, and those, you know, who are still around to still see what we do. Our children now coming through to see, you know, their daddies on stage doing that. All those little nuggets and things that have happened through the years, I think, has brought us really close together as a bunch of lads and friends and family in that respect. So that's the special part. But then you're always trying to make the next song better. You're always trying to make the next album better. Lockdown, this, you know, obviously during the pandemic proved difficult for us, like everyone. We made an album from home with a mobile studio that travelled around, which was interesting. So that album was obviously coming out in November. It just, you know, all those little things keep you going. But like anything, you gotta dig deep and find new ways to make things special all the time.
Okay, we'll take the next question over.
Hi, Louise from UTV. Guys, you have such a huge fan base in Ireland, and you know they've supported you throughout the years. How does it feel to be able to put on such huge concerts? You have thousands of fans coming to see you, and just a message to those fans in the Northern Ireland and, you know, the rest of Ireland.
Honestly, it feels pretty. It's mad, you know. I mean, I think when we came in here this morning and, you know, we were stood up on one of the boxes looking out in the stadium, to think that we're going to fill this with Westlife fans, or hopefully fill it with Westlife fans, you know, after 23 years in the industry is pretty crazy. And, you know, I think as Nicky touched on something there about our children and children growing up, you know, like my oldest is 9 now, and it's only now that he's starting to go, oh, Westlife, right, okay, yeah, so I get it now. And then looking at concerts, and he's, the questions are coming in like mad from him, and it's kind of, sometimes I almost feel like he's talking about somebody else, I think we all kind of feel that. So I just think, after such a long period, we just feel honoured to be able to still do it and to be the ones that people want to come and see. So yeah, just a huge thank you to all the fans around the country and around the world. I remember when we played the reunion shows in Croke Park, we had people from all around the world flying in, and hopefully next year this will be no different,
Thank you. And just to add to that this is being streamed globally, so we're also being joined by all over the world, and they're also the UK are announcing all their dates simultaneously with ourselves here as well. And there is one thing which you should know is that the band are the only band apart from U2 to ever sell out Wembley Stadium, which is an enormous feat. So congratulations, lads, on that.
Thank you.
Okay, we take the next question. Well done, lads.
Thank you.
Okay, we take a question over here.
Hiya, Kira Ewing from Cool FM. Congratulations again. Obviously, you're excited to be back performing, as are your fans. Thrilled to have you back. When do rehearsals start, and what can we expect to see at this tour?
Rehearsals will start usually about 6 weeks out, depending on if this is the first show yet, because this is part of an international world tour that we will do. So this could be our first show back, but there could be international shows just before that either, so we're waiting to find out a bit more about that. But yeah, usually about 6 weeks out, but like the planning for it, like set lists, like screen content, all the stuff that we do starts probably tomorrow. We start like 6 months out, because there's a lot to do. We've an amazing team from America that put a lot of this together for us, visual content and stuff. We kind of pride ourselves on, especially after the last Croke Park show, we feel like it was the best show we ever put on, and we want to top that obviously now and make it very interesting. It's going to bring you right through the 22 years of Westlife, and our full set list, all the hits. Obviously it's going to be full of all of our hits, but we want to always freshen that up and make it a very exciting show for families, as Justin said. There's lots of different age groups coming to these shows. There's 3 generations and stuff like that, so we want the kids to enjoy it and think that the show is cool, and we want as old as the fans get that come here, and there is a few that you see in the audience, so it's it's going to be, we want to put on our biggest and best show ever. Obviously this show as well is going to be in Wembley Stadium 5 weeks later, or 4 weeks later, so we want to make sure obviously this is our best ever show.
Páirc Uí Chaoimh as well, this will be the same.
And Páirc Uí Chaoimh is the same show. It's part of the whole kind of tour that will be announced, and we have dates announced in the UK as well for November, December of 22 as well, so it'll be part of a long tour. But this could be our first show back, physically the first show.
And just to say to date that combined, the actual band have sold over 5 million tickets globally, which is a phenomenal achievement, and still going. So we're hoping that they're equally going to sell out next Friday when they go on sale. Okay, we take a final question, I think.
This gentleman here.
Okay, from the back.
Hello there, Patrick O'Donoghue from The Times and The Sunday Times. Obviously, it's been such a long time since concerts like this have been able to be held. It's set to be a joyful occasion, not just for you, but your fans. Was there a time during the pandemic when you feared that an event like this, a concert, would not be possible ever again?
100%.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
I think like in all our hearts and souls, we sort of, we didn't know, but like we kind of had this idea that it would happen at some point. But the scary thing was when, like how long would it take to get things back to a point where everyone could safely go to concerts, And I'm saying that as someone who likes to go to gigs myself, and also from the perspective of the artist on the stage or whatever. It's a scary prospect, and it's something that I suppose, like, it was rightly so. We all took it for granted for so long, and now I think everyone's realised just how lucky you are to just do a simple thing like go and meet your friends for a coffee, or go to the pub, or on a bigger scale go to concerts and everything. So it was definitely scary. Scary in just how huge everyone's realised it is when you just pull the entertainment industry out of society and it's gone. And the dangers of it in terms of people's mental health, not being able to meet their friends, go to a gig, have a night out, let off steam. It's easy to play it down as a luxury item, but actually it's a very important part of everybody's life. There's your social life, and going to a gig is a very primal thing to do because you just forget everything and you just the music takes over. And I think the next time we play the gig, looking out, watching the audience, hopefully having fun, there's going to be a huge additional element of pride in the fact that we're able to create a platform for everyone to come and just go mad, and have fun, have drinks and dance along and sing along to pop songs. And it was very scary to think that it might be a very long time before it happened. And thankfully, it wasn't as long as it could have been, maybe, and that's why today is so joyous, not just as a Westlife moment, but just in general, because we're here and it's happening,
It's surreal, actually, because if you remember, we all remember, what started out was 2 weeks to flatten the curve, turned into, no one allowed to get their hair cut and leave their garden, So to see that we're sitting here now with this in front of us, with the dates there, it doesn't feel. I mean, we only got this morning, the actual printout of the actual dates and the artwork, and it's like, wow, this is actually happening. To sit in a stadium like this, which, for all of us, I remember coming here, the old Lansdowne Road in 1986 with my dad to football matches to watch Ireland play. And we've all been here for, soccer matches and rugby games and different things, and concerts. I saw Rihanna here, 5 or 6 years ago. I just think there's moments for us all where we sat in our houses going, when will this ever happen again? And that was just the haircuts. So, but no, we're absolutely delighted. It's going to be, 22 years on, as the boys have said, to be able to still do it and to be able to do it at a level like this, where you see generations coming to the shows and walking away happy, is always our aim. We've always tried to put on the spectacle, the big shows, the lights, the fireworks, all of the stuff that goes with a big night of entertainment. Only this time around, I think it's just going to be that little bit extra special because of what it represents, I guess.
Okay, thank you. We'll just take one final question here.
Brilliant, thank you.
Please.
Hi, it's Sophie Huskisson from the Irish Daily Mail. So obviously lockdown was also a way that we got to see way more of our families. I was just wondering what you're thinking about the prospect for being away from your partners and children for a long period of time on a global tour again. And I also just wanted to ask, obviously, cases are rising again in different places in the country. What's the thinking behind whether things might be delayed or postponed? Are there any concerns about that?
Well, I think the family question first. I think, definitely we've all gotten to spend a lot of time with our families, and I've got 3 little boys, so to be around them as much as I have been has been very, very special. And I definitely think it's going to be quite tough for us to kind of leave family behind. I mean, we've generally speaking, over the previous tours, we'd bring family along with us to whatever they can, and I think this will be no different. And then when we get into international stuff, across the other side of the world, when that's possible, we just deal with it case by case. But I think we always make sure that we never go away for any more than 3 weeks at a time to be able to get back to our families and see them again. And then as far as the cases rising and all that, I mean, obviously the best thing that we can say about that is that we're going to follow government guidelines, just like we are here today. When it comes to the shows, hopefully the world, I think government are saying there's no going backwards, so hopefully that's going to continue that way. And I think that's why we felt confident to be able to do what we're doing today. And come next summer, hopefully we'll all be living in a world where COVID, I'm sure, won't be a thing of the past, but it will certainly be a thing of, you remember how bad it was, and we'll be in a better place, So fingers crossed. That's all we can do.
Okay, thank you. Well, speaking of rugby and football, the FAI and the IRFU heard you're all coming today. So
very good.
Thank you. You can pass them along there. Your name's on the back. So they want to, so as soon as the football did it, but the rugby had to do it as well.
Who was first?
So you can fight. All right.